Rashid Ghannouchi for me is a good, decent person whom I'm proud to call a friend. I first came to know him when he was living in exile in London, and I would see him at meetings, and he was always that sort of silent, listening presence, a gentle presence, spoke little, but when he did speak, people listened because he had insights. He provided something very useful to the conversations. It was after the Arab Spring we had the privilege of getting to know him much more up close, because we were invited by Rashid Ghannouchi to help with a political dialogue in his country that was sponsored by the EU, and we worked there very closely with the diverse political parties, looking at what consensus or sufficient consensus could be reached between a religious and a secular view of the future of the country. Now, what impressed me by working closely with Rashid Ghannouchi and also Beji Sepsi was that neither man were interested in a grab for power. They were truly interested in what the future of the country could be and how they could contribute to achieving that. There was always room for consensus, for compromise, and there wasn't that sort of desire to dominate. And I felt that it was a fortunate period in Tunisia's history, because in a way it was being led by two distinguished people who felt that the country could avoid violence, could reach consensus, and could establish good governance where everyone had a possibility to achieve their ambitions and their aspirations. I remember at the time Bernardino Leon, who was the EU envoy, special envoy to Tunisia, saying we had to put an iron steel around Tunisia to protect it because it was a gem in the changing North Africa, Middle East at the time. Sadly, the EU did not listen to his voice. I think that there was too much political interference from outside that led to the separation that we've seen and has eventually led to this present situation, which I think is truly sad and, if not deplorable. To accuse Rashid Ghannouchi of being in any way involved in violence or promoting violence, I think is a downright distortion of truth. The man that I know and have known is a man who, in fact, stood for the exact opposite, who always recognized there was an alternative view and who tried, without compromising his own principles and values, to accommodate that view. I witnessed many conversations between him and a diverse group of people at the World Economic Forum, likewise in his dealings in Tunisia with diverse groups of visitors and with the diverse political parties. We sat at the table together, and I could see here was a man really trying to reach consensus. Of course, one can make criticism of any leadership, political leadership, and some of the comments I heard while in Tunisia was that he was not decisive enough in making political decisions when he should have, or should have broadened his group of advisors and so on. But anyone can come under these criticisms. But I sincerely hope that the global interest in what's happening in Tunisia will put pressure on the present government to say this is a ridiculous direction the country has taken, totally unnecessary, and Tunisia will once again find itself on the road to true decision or true transition to democracy.